Hi everybody, my name is Ryan and I am the Laser Noob with a PSA public service announcement just for you. So the next several videos that I'm going to be doing are going to be all on the Atomstack A5 M50 Pro. So we're going to take this thing and we're going to start off with some basic cuts, and we're going to do all the way up to some really some advanced stuff, well, advanced for me, and we're going to see how this thing stacks up. See what I did there? So if you happen to be watching these videos and you see something that you like, check out the links in the description below. You'll find a link for the Atomstack A5 M50 Pro, a link to their website with some other great stuff from Atomstack. So with that, let's get to the next video. Hi everybody and welcome. My name is Ryan and I am the Laser Noob. So I've already done a couple of videos on the Atomstack A5 M50 Pro. The first one was unboxing. The second one was the actual first burn with setting up light burn and getting light burn to detect your laser. Those are already done. Now in the second video I told you I've got another laser. I've put hundreds and hundreds of hours on this other laser. I've done a lot of tests. With this Atomstack A5, now I've got to go back and redo all those tests. It's a whole new process. So I told you that I'm going to put this thing through the ringer, and today we're going to start. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to be doing some tests, some cutting tests on some basswood. So we're going to see if we can cut some 3mm basswood. We're going to cut some 4mm basswood, much thicker. And we're going to cut some 2mm basswood, just some little blanks. Okay? We're just trying to see what this thing can do. Now on top of that, we're going to etch a little anodized metal bottle opener, just for the hell of it. We're going to see if it can do that. We're going to take a glass coaster and we are going to dip that in tempera. I'm not going to show you that process. I've done it in another video, but basically I'm going to dip this in some tempera paint, not dunk, just dip, front side, and we're going to see if we can get the frosted white look on the Atomstack A5 M50. So we're going to do that. We are going to etch onto a leatherette patch. This is a leather patch. It's faux leather patch that I've got off of Amazon. I do these all the time. We're going to see how the A5 M50 does that. Cork. We're going to do a cork coaster. Same thing. Done a ton of these. We're going to see how the A5 M50 looks after we engrave or etch a photo onto the cork coaster. We're also going to do a wood handled bottle opener. Basically all I'm going to try and do is I'm just going to engrave something. I'm going to see how long it takes, how it looks. I'll probably just put Atomstack on there because I'm testing the Atomstack laser, or A5 M50 Pro, whatever, something. So then the other thing we're going to be doing is we are going to be doing a white tile painted with smoky beige. Now this is the 2-time Rust-Oleum 2X Ultra Cover Paint Plus Primer Smoky Beige. Now supposedly this is like the best. Where I live, I've just recently found the smoky beige. Until now I've been using the heirloom white. Heirloom white works great, comes out really well. So we're going to be doing the smoky beige on the A5 M50 today. And we're going to see how it goes. So like I said, today we're going to start putting this thing through the ringer. We're going to test this sucker out and see if it is worth anything. Let's get to work.
you have your way, and it's making me weaken. You and your status, walking like that. It's really getting too much, but I can't pull back. Though I try to resist, I can't fight this. And no one makes me feel like you do. And no one sets my body on fire. And no one gives me shivers like you. Oh, no one does it better. How I try to sleep, but you're deep in my mind. Got a hold of me. When I'm awake, I'm all blind. You and your magic, like infinite power. God knows I try to resist, but you're pulling me closer. Oh, I gotta stay away, but you won't let me. And no one makes me feel like you do. And no one sets my body on fire.
Okay, so we've done a bunch of tests with the Atomstack A5 M50 Pro. So, and here's the final thoughts on those tests. So I'm going to show you all the results. Number one, we got 2mm basswood. Okay, did that in 3 passes. 3mm basswood, cut out that little mark right there. That was also 3 passes. At that point, I was like, okay, 3mm, it's not going to cut through 4. This is 4mm basswood, and as you can see, it cut right through it. So even a 4mm, now it says it's 3.68 according to my calipers. When I ordered this on Amazon, it said 4mm. I'm not sure, you know, if that's the way they actually measure it, but anyway, so it's just a little bit smaller than 4mm, but that actually was 100% power, 6mm a second, and 4 passes, and it did it. So, and remember, I'm not running an air assist on any of this. There's no excessive scorching or burning or anything, so it did that pretty easily. I kind of like that. So we also did a Cork coaster. So as you can see, I took a Cork coaster and I put Atomstack. I wrote Atomstack on it. Okay. Then, so I didn't waste a second coaster. I'm like, all right, let's see if it cuts. So it engraves the Cork coaster pretty well. I mean, it did a fantastic job at it, but it didn't cut through. So you can see on the back side of that coaster, not even a mark. So I did that with 4 passes, but it just chars it. And I mean, so as far as cutting cork, no, it's no good. But it can certainly, you know, engrave some cork. If you want to do some cork coasters, it can do it. All right, so one of the things that I decided to add on to that, because I didn't have any on hand, but so Atomstack, when you get the A5 M50 Pro, they send you these little black acrylic focusing things, all right? So you're supposed to set this underneath your laser, drop your laser down until it touches, and now the laser's focused on what it's gonna etch. So they sent 3 of these, so I'm like, wonder if we're going to cut acrylic with this. Might as well. We're doing a review. We're testing this thing out. Let's see what it can do. So I took that, and in 2 passes, it easily cut right through. Now, if you can see it, there is no scorching, no burning, no nothing. It is a clean cut. Okay, like I said, 2 passes, so not too shabby there. We did a faux leather patch. Now, basically what I did with this is I took the settings from my 10 watt and I halved the speed because it was 70% power on the 10 watt, running relatively fast. So I slowed it down. I actually went into it a little too far, but I mean, you guys probably can't tell. It's in really deep in these dark black areas. But I mean, easily engraving leather or faux leather, okay? So, and these patches are pretty popular with people. So we can do that relatively easy. And then I had a bunch of these little anodized aluminum keychains hanging out. I've done some with my 10 watt. So I'm like, let's see how the 5 watt does. Now this is red, obviously, but clearly did that pretty well too. So this was a little bit slower, but it can be done. Well, I'm just looking to see what it can and can't do. So far from what I've tested, the only thing that it can't do is cut through cork. So then I had a wood-handled bottle opener. And it came out pretty good. So now, please don't put down in the comments that, hey, it's not centered. I'm not trying to spend a day in here to center everything. I'm just trying to see how it looks, how long it takes. Now, this was at 70% power and 50 millimeters a second. So not 100, I mean, it was 50 millimeters a second is pretty good. So it's not super slow, but yeah, that is a, you know, solid wood handle. Pretty good. So then the last two tests I want to talk about are the white tile painted with smoky beige. So you can see all the blacks that I have here. Basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find the fastest speed at the lowest power that I can get a solid black on. And that actually, because if you see in here, if I focus it, if you get close enough, you see on some of these black ones down here, there's some lines in there. You got to look closely, but you can see them, and I don't like that. So right up in here is what I'm looking at. So the blackest one I'm seeing for me at the fastest speed is 30% power at 16.7 millimeters a second. So that little guy right there. So you can get black on it. Now, like I said, I have used the heirloom white when I couldn't find smoky beige. Heirloom white works great too when you're doing the Norton white tile test. Now, always remember, do your own speed power tests. Always, 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 always. Don't take my settings on my A5 M50 Pro, put them in yours, and think you're going to get the same result because your laser may be less or more powerful than mine. None of them are all exactly the same. So you always, every time you're doing something new with a new laser, always do a speed power test on that. I have speed power tests on my 10 watt, speed power tests on the 5 watt, but you have to, I mean, you can get close with somebody else's settings, but they may not always work. So there's that. Now here's the big one. This is the main reason that I ended up going from a 5 watt to a 10 watt to begin with, is I wanted to be able to do frosted glass. And I'd never tried this on my other 5 watt. I did try to do white frosted glass using cold galvanized spray with my old 5 watt. And the best I can get with cold galvi on that 5 watt was like a silver, okay? On my 10 watt, I'm running like 4.2 millimeters a second at like 90% power in order to get white on glass with the 10 watt using cold galvanized compound. So I did some other tests, and I recently, did other videos on glass that with tempera paint, you can actually get white. It's not as bright white, but it is still a very good white with a higher speed and about the same power. So I tried that with the A5 M50, and so this is with tempera paint that you can get at Walmart or Amazon or anything. Yeah, you can see that this top row, these whites are very, very grainy, all right? And they don't really look real great. They are white. And the best one that I get is this little guy right here. And on my A5 M50, that's 90% power at 12.5 millimeters a second. So in another video, I'm gonna go ahead and do a whole glass video on it. I'm gonna do a whole tile video on it. But just from first looks, I mean, we can get it. We just need to see if we can dial it in and make it look a little bit better, all right? So if you're looking to do white on glass, it's looking like you can. You may just have to play with a little bit. And there's other things besides tempera too. I just found tempera is nice because I can wash it off with water. So all in all, I really like the A5 M50 Pro from Atomstack. A couple of the reasons that I like it. Number one is when you're trying to center that laser and you're trying to move the head around and all that, with the X tool, the rail on the outside is like this thick. I mean, it's very thick. So if you're trying to look over the top, you can't really see unless you have the protective cover completely off that thing. You can't see where that laser's at. So you can't, it's hard to adjust it manually. Otherwise you gotta like frame it 50 times. And then if you're doing like wood or glass or something and you've got your honeycomb in there, there's a gap this big from the bottom. Well, now you can't see it because if you look under the rail, all you see is the honeycomb. All right, so I don't like that. That's a real big drawback for me, especially new users who are trying to just do it by sight and moving that laser by hand. They may not necessarily have figured out light burn. So that's a drawback for the old one, but the A5 M50 Pro has a rail that's about this thick, and it's real easy to see where that laser head's at and when you're framing it. And so I mean, I love that. That's great. Number two reason that I'm liking the A5 M50 from Atomstack is that I can put an SD card in this controller right in the top of it and go to the handheld and select that file, and I can cut that file or burn that file, whatever I'm doing, and I don't have to have a computer, my laptop, or my PC plugged into the laser. I just use the micro SD card and select that file, put in some wood or some glass or whatever, and Bob's your uncle. You're burning, you're cutting. I mean, that's fantastic, no computer. So that's another big seller for me. So the last thing that I'm really liking is the A5 M50 Pro from Atomstack it's extremely affordable. If you are looking to get into doing laser engraving, and especially if you're just a hobbyist and you're trying to do this, like make Christmas ornaments and stuff for the kids and all that, there's no need to go and spend $1,300 on a 20-watt laser if you don't need a 20-watt laser. I mean, you can spend $300 or $400 on a 5-watt laser that's gonna do what you need it to do. I mean, so we're etching glass, we're putting black on the indelible tile method, we're getting black. We're cutting acrylic. There's not a whole lot that the A5 hasn't been able to do. So, and I was talking with my wife, and I was like, look, if they send me this laser, I'm gonna give my honest opinion, whether they send me another laser or not. I'm not gonna mislead the people who are watching my videos. So my honest opinion is, with the ease of setup for the Atomstack A5 M50 Pro, being able to cut up to at least 4mm basswood, I'm cutting 2.5 millimeter black acrylic. I'm getting white on glass tile. I'm getting black on ceramic tile. I can engrave wood relatively quickly. I can do faux leather patches. I mean, my honest opinion is this is a pretty good laser, especially for the price point. Now, I remember I'm not running any air assist. I don't have any rotary or anything. So this is just the laser. So if you're looking for a beginner laser to get in and then maybe move up later on, the Atomstack A5 M50 Pro is definitely worth the money. So guys, if you have any questions, please put them down in the comments. I will answer them. Please make sure you subscribe and like the video for future videos. I'm doing a whole series on the Atomstack. And if you don't have a laser and you've watched this video and you think that the Atomstack A5 M50 or maybe another Atomstack laser is right for you, you'll find them down in the links below to the A5 M50 Pro and to the Atomstack website. Just click on those links. It'll take you right to them, and do your research, get what you need. But for me, thumbs up for the A5 M50 Pro. You guys have a great day.